do is cut this in half. With a spoon, I'll scoop out the white bits and the seeds in the middle. Put the two together like that. And I'm just cutting it as thinly as I can. So there's quite, I don't know, 1 millimeter, I think, thick. So that's the first one, and this is the second one. I'm actually making 2 bitter melon because I'm giving half of this to my grandmother who's got type 2 diabetes, and she's 88 years old. And she can't eat bitter stuff anymore, so I'm trying to make it less bitter as possible. So there's probably about 4 tablespoons of salt. And I'm just gonna mix it through. And what I want to do now is I'll just squeeze it. The salt helps to grip with the bitter melon. So I'm just squeezing it. So if you can see, so there's some juice coming out of it. So I'm just going to squeeze it until the salt has dissolved. So I've squeezed it all out now, but I still need to drain. So if you can see, there's a lot of juice in it. So I still need to drain this. So I've got another bowl here, and what I'll do now is just squeeze this. You could probably use a cheesecloth or something to make it easier, but then I'm just going to do it like this. And put it there. So I managed to squeeze out as much juice as I can out of my bitter melon. So it's all sort of dry-ish. I'll put that aside, and I'll just want to see how much juice it's got. So out of the 2 salami size bitter melon, I've got like half a glass of, I don't know, I think this is about 350 ml glass. So that's a lot of juice. A lot of people drink this, but I wouldn't, because it is horrible, and with the salt it'd be bitter and salty. But I'll just try. That's horrible. Okay, I'm gonna wash my mouth now, just get rid of that taste. So after squeezing it, I'll just put this in a bowl here, and I'll get some boiling water, and I'll just pour it over my bitter melon. Just enough to cover it. And I'll stir this around. And I'm just going to leave this here for 10 minutes. And after 10 minutes, I'm going to drain it and squeeze some more of the liquid out of it. So while waiting for the bitter melon to cool down, I've chopped up my capsicum, and just thinly, so it's probably about 1 millimeter thick, and also my onion. Just break down the onion or split them up like. And we'll put that aside. So while I'm still waiting for my bitter melon to cool down, in a saucepan, take 2 cups. This is half a cup measurement, so I'm going to use 4 of these. 2 cups of apple cider vinegar. And I'll put 2 tablespoons of salt. Normally I put sugar with this, but it's defeating the purpose of not having sugar, since I'm making this for my grandmother who's got a type 2 diabetes, so she can't have any sugar, so instead I'm using stevia. So I'm putting in 1/4 teaspoon of stevia. So I'm just gonna mix this all up to dissolve the stevia and the salt. I'm just gonna try this. The stevia's actually made it sweet. So now I'm just gonna turn this on and let it boil. And the trick is as well, when you're cooking the vinegar, don't touch it or don't stir it for 5 minutes or until it boils, or else you get this funny raw vinegar taste. So I've already drained the bitter melon. So now I'll get a wooden bowl. The reason for the wooden bowl is apparently the vinegar reacts to the metal bowl or metal. So, and then I'll put the onion and the capsicum and I'll just mix this all up. That is looking so pretty. My apple cider vinegar has just boiled up, so I'm just gonna put it on our salad here. And we'll just toss it up. And I'll just leave this for a few minutes to cool down. So now I'm gonna do a taste test. Okay, so hopefully my grandmother will eat this. It's still a little bit bitter, but the sweetness of the stevia and the salt and the vinegar, apple cider vinegar, actually sort of mask the bitterness of the bitter melon. If you like grapefruit, this is actually less bitter than the yellow grapefruit. So there you go. So go and make it, and it's really, really, really healthy. More. There's not going to be anything left for my grandmother that's going to end up eating it all. So I'm going to have a little bit more. I'm just going to duck into this. Okay, bye.